Yo, what's up, everybody? Jake here, aka LD. Um, I'm gonna start. Well, I haven't been doing what I have been on the segment. What would you do? And that's because I haven't really played a deck that requires a lot of thinking, which is pretty much like TG Agent is the only thing that requires thinking. So anyway, um, what the meta is going to say right now is that Dark Worlds are not dead. I did say that they suck, and they do suck, but they're not dead. But the reason for that is because they have a really bad matchup, not really a bad matchup, but a shaky matchup against plants, and with the release of Dark Smog, which is pretty much their side deck card or main deck card against plants, coming out in Photon Shockwave, is going to say a lot for the deck, and I think that people should not just like get it out of the picture now because it's definitely not dead and it definitely could compete. And besides the fact that Brandon Wigley got DQ'd, he would have topped and he would have been the one Dark World in top 32. And I think the deck is still pretty good, still pretty, like, it's in there. It's not like gonna win a whole event, but it's still there. And I think that people would see more of it because mainly at this YCS, people wanted to beat Dark World. They didn't want to play it. They wanted to beat it. So they played everything in their deck. They over side decked. They over main decked shit for this. And then all of a sudden they don't play any. And then they're like, oh, well, I didn't need all this stuff. And now what the people are saying is, since nobody's playing Dark World anymore because everybody's trying to beat them, then I'm going to pick up Dark World and play them myself because it'll be one of those decks that isn't played, so it will be unexpected. So a lot of people are going to be trying to do that, and I think the Dark World stuff would take a fall, like the Super Dark World Lightnings or the Ultimate Brows or something like that. You know, cards in the deck are not going to be hyped like Raven or anything like that, but when Dark Smog comes out, I'm pretty sure the deck would jump back up again. So right now is probably the best time to pick up Dark World stuff, previous to Photon Shockwave, which is gonna give them some more support. So all I could say is the meta right now, all they did was add Dark World. It is definitely still an option. People are gonna start realizing that they can play cards like Dark World Dealings at 2, maybe even at 3. And definitely the main card destruction, or maybe even the morphing jar, because they don't anticipate playing the mirror. And not only that, they probably won't play the mirror because everybody's wanting to play plants. If you have Tour Guide, you might as well play Tour Guide plants instead of Tour Guide Dark World, because that just makes sense. Maybe you could say some kind of anti-meta deck would do okay because Dark World was a pretty good matchup. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe anti-meta, I don't know. Some other decks. There's definitely going to be more than one option or 3 options here. Dark World, Agents, and Plants. There's definitely a couple in there like Karakuri that is kind of overlooked by a lot of people, but still seems like a good deck to me. But what this says for the meta is pick up Dark World stuff because it's going to be good, which is one point. Another point is Plant stuff is always going to be good this format because obviously the obvious reason is that it won 2 YCSs in a row with the same player with the same deck. So that's saying something about the deck, if not the player. And in the top 32 of this recent YCS, which has defined the meta so far because Dark World is introduced in this YCS. And now that people have realized that Dark World is here now and they've seen what it can do, it's pretty much going to say Dark World. Fuck, I just like lost my mind. Okay. What am I thinking? Whoa, guys, this is a weird moment for me. I just like, seriously, stop thinking. Okay. Okay, yeah. The format before YCS Columbus was TG Agents and Plants. And there was a couple in there. There was X-Sabers and the Frog Monarch guy and yeah, some random decks. And then they introduced Darkworld, and Darkworld didn't do anything, and it was mostly plants and agents. So you saw 21 out of 32 decks are plants, and that's actually pretty amazing. And I think that's saying a lot for plants. Even though Darkworld wasn't, Darkworld was played by a lot of people, but they didn't have any decent players playing it besides Brandon, Patrick, and other people. You know, everybody, all the people were like hyping it, and they never played it. They were just like, yeah, it's not that good. The good players realized that the deck isn't that consistent, and it really won't win, but it can win. You know, any deck can win. It's just whether or not it wins consistently, and Dark Worlds just don't do that, I don't think. Plants do a way better job of doing that, so that's why people are going to play Plants instead of Dark World. But Dark World is definitely not out because they're getting support, and the deck is still okay because it has all these cool combos when you discard, and decks like Gravekeepers and X-Savers are not going to be played because of the Dark World actually being out and the chance of them making it. So, I think that the meta right now is going to be Plants Tier 0 because, honestly, a tier is not defined by how strong a deck is. It is how a deck is played. And if there's more plant decks out there, then there's going to be more chances of a plant deck topping or winning. And that makes a deck Tier 0. And Agents is definitely Tier 1. Dark World is probably Tier 1. Karakuri is Tier 1 if you get it and build it right. And, you know, there's some random decks in there somewhere that are Tier 2 and stuff like that, and they can still do some damage like anti-meta. That's Tier 2 stuff. But that's all I pretty much have to say. I just want to know you guys' opinions on everything. I'm sorry I drug out this video because I know I've been repeating myself, but I just want to get the point across that Dark Worlds are not dead, and they actually were like overhyped, but they haven't died, and they will not die because they're getting support in the next set, believe it or not, even after the structure deck. So even after the structure deck, they're getting more support, which means that they have another chance of topping, probably at Kansas City. I'm not sure when the set is actually being released, but I don't know if it's before Kansas City. I haven't looked at the dates and did the math, but as far as I can tell, Kansas City is coming up, and I think Dark Worlds are going to have another shot at it if any actually play. But I'm pretty sure Plants are going to win it again, if not Agents or something in there is going to win, just not Dark World. But Dark World will definitely make a showing, and that's pretty much it. Guys, thank you for subscribing. Comment and do anything you want. Ask me questions. Ask me what you want to do, because I looked at old messages, and that's why I brought up some stuff about the agent deck that I posted and stuff like that. I just look back at my messages, and sometimes I forget. So you guys send me private messages, and then I'll look at them, and then I'll converse about them, and then rant on them, and do that shit. So you guys control my channel, pretty much. You give me the ideas, and I put them out there for you guys to hear and what I think on it. And that's pretty much all I could say about that. And tell your friends to subscribe to me. I got 400-something subscribers, and I'm thankful for every single subscriber. And if I get bigger in YouTube, then I'm going to have another contest. And my previous winners, you're going to enter again, and you could win again. So for all those out there that entered last time, thank you. And for those new here, I had a contest last time, and it's legit. And you can ask anybody that won. They received all their prizes because they all PM'd me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys subscribe, tell your friends about me, and that's pretty much it. Peace.